If you don't know technicals, then you're just going to be doing something wrong. But the psychology is still just as important. Like technicals on the front end, I feel technicals are very important to learning. But once you get into rhythm and a routine of your technical trading, it becomes a little less important because it becomes automatic, like riding a bike. The psychology becomes way more important at that point because it's like, okay, I know what I'm doing, but am I over leveraging? Am I being greedy right now? Am I making those common mistakes that all traders make? And as soon as you're able to consistently, I guess, notice your emotions while you're trading and, continue to get your psychology in check, it starts to smooth out.
All right, what's up, everyone, and welcome to the 5ers YouTube channel for yet another trader interview. This time we got Demetrius. He is a high-stakes funded trader, currently trading an 80K account, got scaled twice, and he has multiple payouts. That's quite impressive, man. Welcome, and thank you for doing this interview. How are you?
I'm doing well, man, and thank you for having me. I'm just happy to be
Nice.
here.
Yeah, awesome, man. Awesome. Really happy to have you here. It's going to be really interesting to hear a little bit about your trading. Maybe we could start with, who are you as a trader? Where did you begin? And kind of walk us through that journey to profitability.
Okay, so I've been trading for about 6 years in total. How I got introduced to trading, I was in the military and I was deployed and I was getting ready to come home. This was like my second deployment and I just had a lot of extra money. But I remember my first deployment, after I got home, literally spent all my money, like almost, like
Yeah.
that. So this go around, I was like, I want to invest. I want to learn how to make my money stretch a little bit longer. And I just put the post out on Facebook and was just like, this time I want to do something different with my money. And a close friend of mine actually seen this post and he was like, I've been doing some research on this thing called Forex. I think you might, be interested in it. So it literally started from there. We went and met up when I got back from Kuwait at the time. We met up at a restaurant and we just kind of sat down, had a talk. And he was like, yeah, I know this guy that's out in Florida. He teaches how to trade. And we went from there. We signed up for his course. And of course, that was just the beginning. So the learning process did like,
Yeah.
it
So
did
it's
a little
deep
bit
learning
further,
curve.
but that was literally the spark that started the flame. So I started learning there.
I think you would that's interesting because you actually started right from the very beginning with a mentor.
I will say that because the things that I did learn in that course, I don't use it all today. So I can't really say that it was the best type of situation, but it wasn't the worst. It was definitely a good introduction to trading in itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what happens. You kind of you have a mentor, and then he teaches you his system, and then you kind of build something on your own, and then you go out on your own, and you got your own foundation, your own system. So that's really cool. And one question. So you said you were in the military, and I think a lot of people will want me to ask this question as well. Like the things that you learned in the military, like things like discipline and that those you obviously have to work a lot on your mindset, right? Is there any skills that you picked up in the military that you think has helped you in trading?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I would say that discipline for one, that definitely is something that you acquire being in the military, the mindset, resilience, just not giving up when things get hard. That's definitely a major thing. And me personally, I've always had like a keen attention to detail. That's sometimes I consider it as like my superpower. Like I used to always think it was lame, but over time, like it really just came in handy, man. And then joining the military they just built upon that attention to detail because they always used to tell us, pay attention to every detail matters. And that translated over into my trading. So it's just like every single detail matters. And I just enjoy finding the small details that even some people don't even, notice.
Yeah, I've interviewed a couple of traders who's been in the military, and they all say the same thing. Attention to detail, discipline, and resilience. Like I said, super important to things that basically things that make you a better person will also make you a better trader. So it's super interesting to hear that you've scaled your account twice. And when we started this interview, like right before I asked you, like, oh, have you scaled this account? You're like, yeah, only twice. And I'm like, wait a minute, only twice? That's pretty good, you know. Scaling an account twice, that means you met the target twice. You went from 60, right? And now you're up on 80K. So that's really, really good progress. And not only that, you've had multiple payouts. So looking at the percentage of people that are not even profitable in this industry, the fact that you're not only profitable, but you keep scaling the account means that you're at the very top of the profitable traders in the Forex market. So, gotta give yourself that, a really great trader. And I'd like to ask you how well, I think what a lot of people want me to ask is, what's your technical system looks like? Are you trading technicals? Are you trading, do you care about fundamentals? Like walk us through your trading methodology.
Awesome. So I'm extremely heavily focused on technicals. Fundamentals, not so much. I would say fundamentally, the only thing I look for is red folder news. Everything else is strictly technical. And I feel like the technicals guide the fundamentals. That's my approach. So like if I see red folder news, if I am like right at an entry point, I may or may not take that trade. I'm gonna lean more so away from it. But if say I'm already in a trade and I'm floating a good bit in profit, I've seen structure being created and I feel safe and secure in that position, I'll definitely hold through news. But yeah, like fundamental is slight for me. Like if I see something that seems to go along with the technicals that I already have set out, I'll use that to maybe hold the trade for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, and I think we have the same approach when it comes to technicals and fundamentals. So I'm definitely the same there. And I think it's very important also to make sure that make sure that you look at that economic news calendar. And I mean, there's this saying that price discounts everything, and I think that's kind of like what you're talking about here. You're looking at the price action as front, right, and center, and the fundamentals come second. And you just want to make sure that there's no unpredictability and now no extreme volatility when you're trading. So you're looking at making sure that you're not entering a trade when there's high impact news event, but you can hold it through high impact news events. So I think that's a great approach. Are you trading? Is there any specific asset that you're trading, or are you all over the place?
Yeah, so I literally only trade gold. So gold is my number one go-to. NAS 100 is like every now and then, like that's kind of like my backup. And I have Bitcoin on my chart just because I invest in Bitcoin. So I glance at that. I don't really trade Bitcoin, but I am like a long term, like I feel like Bitcoin is definitely something that's going to be in the future. So
Yeah, I'm definitely with you with that. I'm a long-term hodler of Bitcoin as well. We all hope Bitcoin is going to go to the moon very, very soon. Although it looks like a little bit shaky right now, but holding on to those diamond hands. I think. Are you able to maybe share your screen? Because
yeah,
I would
yeah.
love to. I would love to kind of look at your trading view or MetaTrader. Kind of go through a couple of trades on gold. We have a lot of gold traders. I don't really like gold, if I'm going to be honest. It's just the volatility like kind of scares me. There's just wicks all over the place, you know.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that because I love the wigs. Like that's kind of like a part of my approach.
I
Like
know, like gold is either you love it or you hate it. I'm kind of like siding with the haters here. You know, definitely have problems trading gold, but it's very interesting because like we have a lot of fun traders trading gold, and it obviously works very well. So I think I've enabled screen sharing for you here now.
all right, okay. Okay, can you see it? See my
Yeah.
screen?
Oh, wow. That looks good, man. That
Yeah,
looks
so
good.
surprise, like I've scaled up twice, but it's really close to three times now.
Wow. That looks really nice.
These are just like this is the madness here.
A lot of lines, but I can see that you're trading horizontal support and resistance with trend lines and fib levels, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the entirety of my system is pretty much market structure, Fibonacci, key levels. I use trend lines for to track price as far as like confirmations and for
Oh, dude,
confirmation for
this is
entries.
so clean. I know a lot of people will watch this and they're like, "Oh, these trend lines all over," but this is actually very nice. I love how you're, looking at market structure shift and like look at those break and retest of the trend lines. And yeah, I think anyone who understands TA will look at this and say like, yeah, this is good. This is clean
Yeah,
right here.
if you know, you know, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is nice. Very cool.
Let's see if I can find a good one. I think this position here was a good entry that I took. I made a good amount of profit on this one. Oh no, but I really like this one. Okay, so yeah, I'll break this one down right here.
Yeah.
So let me do this here real quick. I'll just, if anything, let me see. So I had literally just taken this position here. This was my take profit, but I ended up closing right around this point right here. It was getting late. I was getting tired. I was like, you know
Yeah,
what?
that makes
Trade.
sense.
I was up about, I want to say 6 or 7K on the trade. So I was like, I'm comfortable with this. So closed there. And then I seen it hit my target the next morning around 9 a.m. So as soon as I seen that, I was like, okay, cool. And then the price just dumped.
Mm.
So what I was looking at from this area here was that price was coming down very aggressively. It was breaking through lows.
And
And after,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but for those of you not knowing, like this is on the 2nd of August last week doing this recording, and I think most people remember the extreme volatility that we had. That was the NFP numbers came out, I believe, and the fears of possible recession in the US, and everyone went crazy. So I do believe that that week might have been the NFP. No, perhaps, or was that I can't remember, but that must have been coming from the NFP. So you're basically trading some extreme volatility here.
yeah, I can't remember if it was NFP or not, but I do remember it was a lot. It was a lot going on.
Yeah.
But so I seen that price was breaking these lows, seeing the wicks or whatever. And so from this point, I believe I started basically looking for my next position. I drew a fib from this level to this level, and I just kind of started waiting. This move right here, when price rejected the 38.2%, I didn't take this move because I was looking for a steeper retracement. But when I seen it, I was like, dang, that could have been a quick move because it went 38.2 straight to negative 27%. And that's usually the parameters that I trade. I look for a rejection from a PRZ and I'll hold to negative 27% or the next key level, depending on, like we was talking about earlier, if there's news, if there's something that's going to support my bias, that's how I select my targets. So this move happened and I was like, dang, okay, I missed. I'm not sure if price is going to retrace again or if it's just going to keep going. So I just waited. And then I seen price coming back, coming back, coming back.
You said PRC, is that the potential
Sorry.
reversal zone, is it?
Yes, price reversal zone.
Nice. Okay. And what zone is that? Is that the 38.2 or is that a specific area?
Yes, this first one right here that rejected was the 38.2% price reversal zone.
Right.
So
Okay.
after price made this push down and it hit this target here at negative 27%, I adjusted my fib to this low, and that's when price came up and it made this wick right here. So the wicks.
Yeah.
And when I seen this wick, this exhaustion, basically sellers, taking over the market and pushing back against the buyers, I said, all right, I like the way it looks. It's right here at a price reversal zone, 61.8%. This is like one of my favorite ones. So I immediately took the entry as soon as this candle closed. And this is the hour chart, by the way. Do I do majority of my analysis on the hour. I base everything off the hours market structure. So as soon as I seen that, this candle closed and I just entered negative 27 was my target. But I believe I held only to about this key level here. And you see it just went straight there.
Yeah. Nice.
And it continued to go all the way down, all the way down. And of course, like I was happy with my gains, but I was like, oh my God, like that would have
Yeah.
been the whole.
That's a difficult part, you know. You take profit and then you see that it could have been twice or even three times as big of a
Right.
winner. But you know
Yeah.
that it is what it is. I mean, that's just trading. I
Yeah.
think so. You said you're on the 1 hour. Do you ever go lower than a 1 hour?
Yeah, so I essentially can take every position that I want to take just based off of the 1 hour. But there
Nice.
are times that I'll look lower if I'm a little bit confused about the market structure. There are times that I'll look a bit lower to see if I can see any type of pattern or anything that I can recognize on a lower time frame for maybe another entry, or if like prices may be consolidating a bit, excuse me, prices may be consolidating a bit, and I'm just not sure if it's going to keep going. I look for market structure on lower time frames for just added confirmation. And also I go up too as well if I'm in a trade and I want to know if it'll go a little bit further than my hour projections. I'll look at the 4 hour, mostly 4 hour or daily, but mostly 4 hour, just to see if I can see something lining up on the 4 hour that supports my bias as far as it going further, then I'm more confident holding the trade because it's like, okay, cool, I have this set up here on top of what I'm looking at on the hour, and that's just how I go about it.
Yeah, but I love the fact that you're able to take all the trades in a 1 hour. I think that's the simplicity in that is probably important as well. The fact that you don't have to go up and down on different time frames, you can just focus on one. I think that is also beneficial if you're able to stick with that. So if you look at that trade example right there, so your entry trigger for this trade was basically you saw that wick and then you thought, okay, so because what I see is also, price came up and kind of retested the area that broke on that massive down move, and then you printed that wick. So that wick was telling you that now we have sellers about to taking over the markets. This is where I want to enter. Do you try to ride that move down to a specific fib level, or is it just the horizontal support level you're taking profit at?
So for my take profits, by default, the first take profit for me is negative 27%. That fib level is that's where I'm usually targeting. At times, I'll either take profit a little bit earlier, like for example, this area here, this key level here, it's also the 0%. If I'm like ready to just get out of a trade, or it's a possible TP here, or if I want to hold longer, negative 61.8 is my second target usually. And in between all of those, I use each of these key levels as a target as well. So my targets really are just based on my mood or how I'm feeling, or my
Right.
confidence.
Yeah,
So
well,
I
that's not a bad idea. I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's kind of like you're a lot of people would say that you're trading on emotions, but it's discretionary. I think it's a discretionary trading, and you're kind of trading on in intuition, because obviously, like, people can say that you're trading on emotions, so that's a bad thing. But when you scale that account twice and you have multiple payouts, it's such a proof that what you're doing is working. And I like how it's like you're so relaxed, like so chill in the way you're approaching this. You're like, yeah, I entered here, and then I closed it here, and because it just feels right to close it here. And I think that's a perfect example of, like, you gotta listen to your gut feeling sometimes as well.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
There's been several times where it's like, your gut is telling you to do something, and then you're like, oh no, it'll be all right. And then now you're sitting in drawdown.
Yeah. So what do you know what win rate, around what win rate you have on this way of trading?
To be honest, I really don't know. Like I look at the percentage on the dashboard, and most of the times it's like around 50, 60. The highest I've seen it at is 70, but I really don't pay too much attention to my win percentage. That's just the risk to reward, because there's been times where I want to say when I first started with 5ers, I would say that after the second time that I scaled up, or no, it was after the first time I was on the second account, I had a terrible losing streak, a terrible losing streak. I want to say I lost about 10, 15 trades in a row.
Oh
And
wow. Well, that's possible.
yeah, it was just going south, man. But I recovered all of that within like 2 trades. So
Wow.
yeah, it was just like I knew that the losing streak was happening, but I wasn't nervous because of my risk reward. Like I know that I can lose so many times, and basically, all I need is a winner. And I'm pretty confident in my trading system to know that all right, as soon as that winner comes, I'm back in the game, and it's like nothing ever happened.
Nice. So you're trading with, I would say that you're trading with a fairly lower win rate, but you're aiming for the you know the bigger winners to kind of push equity higher.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say like the win rate, it really varies because
Yeah.
sometimes I'm on fire.
Yeah,
Like
that
sometimes I'm
definitely.
just, I just win, 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 win. But as a trader, it's you gotta ride the wave, man.
Yeah. One question here. Risk management. Do you risk a specific percentage of your account on each trade, or is that what's your risk management like?
So as far as my risk management, each trade I take, I try to go for at minimum a 1 to 3 risk to reward. I'll take 1 to 2s if they look good, as far as the setup is concerned. But I never really, I keep the daily loss amount in mind, and I keep the maximum drawdown in mind. So I don't necessarily I let market structure determine my risk, basically. So if,
Right.
like, for example, on this trade here, my stop loss was above this wick. So depending on what the numbers look like based off of the lot size that I'm using, that's how I go about it. So like if I'm trading a $80,000 account, I can't lose 4,000 in a day. I can't lose 8,000 altogether. So with a trade like this, okay, if I'm especially with these wick entries as well, these are the type of entries that I like when there's this much confluence, this much confirmation for me, I'm more than likely to up my lot size. So I believe I took this trade with about 4 lots. And it was just, I mean, it was just so much here that just, let me know that this was going to be a good trade. So I think I risked about 2,000 on this particular trade. And I felt like if it went above if price went above this week, then it was a loss. So
Is that about like 1 or 2% of the account, right?
I believe 1 or 2%. I'm not even sure.
That's yeah, I gotta do math. Like this is turning into a math session. Yeah, I think it's somewhere. Yeah. Oh, I think it's 2.5, something like that. 2 or 2.5. I don't know. Should be 2.5 because 4 is obviously 5% because 8,000 is 10%, 4 is 5%, so 2 is 2.5. So that's quite a lot. I mean that's quite a lot. But so what happens if that trade would have been a loser? That means you're down. I mean you're down quite a lot. Do you cut risk or do you take it easy after that?
So like after a loss, or if like I take like if I'm consistently losing, so like I guess my strategy as far as dealing with losses, I don't like to take more than 2 losses in a trading session. So if I take a loss and it's not that bad, I'm willing to take another loss. But if I take 2 losses, then I'm just done for the day. Like I'm just gonna try to, you know, reset my mind and come back for another session. I would say that if, in this particular situation, I was extremely confident, but if it had not have gone my way, I was already I was already far in profit on the account. So it just would have been a reset. Like I would have taken that loss and I would have probably just been done for the day just off of that one trade, just because of the nature of it, because it was a trade that I was willing to risk a little bit more than normal on. I probably would have just taken that day and taken that L on the chin and just basically waited for the next day for more clarity and another setup and just continue to go forward.
Awesome, man. I love it. So we're actually running out of time here. So I would like to ask you if anyone watches this and they're just about to start challenge and they've traded for a while and they're just about to get a challenge account, what advice would you have to someone just starting out to focus on in the beginning when they're starting a challenge account?
Take your time. Take your time. Risk management. It's the markets are always going to be here. Like, don't force trades. Just continue to learn and grow and build.
Yeah. No, I think that you said it well. Like take your time. got unlimited time to pass the evaluation. I think
Exactly.
a couple. I think that a year or two ago, the whole industry kind of went to removing that time limit, and that was like a huge thing. I remember when I
Huge game
started my
changer.
first evaluation, I had like 30 days to make 10%, something like that. And that was stressful. So now with the no time limit, I think that's wonderful because now you can trade the evaluation just like you would trade a normal account. All
Exactly.
right. Demetrius, thank you for joining us here. Is there anything else you would like to add? Is there like do you have social media, anything like that? Anything where people, because now they're obviously getting interested in you, they want to know more about your system. Is there any way people can follow you or something like that?
Yeah, so I do have an Instagram. It's Yancey Hendricks, a profile that I just started that's just me giving out trading tips.
Nice, man. All right, man. Thank you for joining here today, and I would like wish you the best and good luck. And hopefully, when you scale that account again, we'll do another interview and take a look at some more trades, man. All right.
Definitely.
All right. Take care, man.
All right, you too. Thanks for having me.
Hi guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. Now make sure you like and subscribe, and most of all go into the YouTube and check our other content that we provide here at The 5ers. We'll see you in the next one.